Okay, so Callum and I went to the model railway show and we came back with a load of track. I've just done this little bench bit that goes down and down underneath there, so I've got this far. I've got a level put in, it goes all the way underneath there and it goes round to this bit here. I decided to use this as storage, so that will be the idea. Should hold 4 tracks in there, which is good to just give me an opportunity to tidy up all the wiring underneath. So I've had a good wire tidy up, as we say. So that's that bit. I'm now going to start laying some track and see how it goes. So yeah, I'm quite pleased so far. That's what it'll look like. Got a mess everywhere in my shed, absolute junk everywhere, but should get it in and hopefully it'll work. Give it a test. You can see the test meters out. So I need to, what I'm planning to do is just put a little switch over here. So I'm going to drop a little switch in there, and then if it's that way then the track's dead, and if it's then that way the track's live, and I might put a little LED feeding the power to it to take off it. I'm not sure about that, but yeah, just look good if it's red or green. But I know it'll be on or it'll be off, and then this whole section will be isolated, so all around there there'll be no power, so I can switch it off. So all my trains, as Graham has done, they will be isolated, so not sitting on powered track if they're storage. So that's what I'm going to do. I'm going to crack on and get some track down. Okay, I've just added the power to the track, and I'll just explain a couple of things I've done. So I now have power in this section here, and as you can see there's a little red light in the signal box. I put the signal box there because I thought it's a good way to hide the lights. I didn't want to signal and show, so that will stay there. Now that's telling me that this is free to use. Some people say, why haven't you got a green light, to explain why this track's live and why have you got a red. Now the reason being, if I throw this switch here, okay, so this track's now in use, you'll see there's a green light. So when I'm looking from an operating point of view, I can look round from there and I can see that this loop is live and it's green. There's a green light in there. That tells me that that's okay to pass that junction. So as soon as I see, I'll zoom out, try and do this way. As soon as I switch this point over, you'll see the signal box will go red in the windows. So that tells me not to go through that junction. So from a visual point of view, red means danger. Don't pass that crossing realistically, because that loop is live. I'm not going to use this all the time. This is just purely to get my trains up and down from a storage area that I've created here up to the track when I feel I need to. So that is what I've done. I've added this little throw switch down here. So again, this is powered up to this switch that feeds the power to the track underneath now. So when as you can see, it's leaning that way, that means power's off, and then when I throw it back this way, that means all this track is now live. By throwing it back off that way, this is now dead. So any train sitting on my, I've just done a little test, any train sitting on my track down there will be isolated. You can see I've done a couple of little tests. I will follow up on that one in the next bit I do. So that's the wiring. It's just wired in back to the main track and isolated. So that's on and off. That's that bit that's successful. I'm happy with that. I think this is a great idea, this bit. Have a visual, you see, so I know that the main track's okay to proceed, and I can use a slip road, so it's telling me not to go down the main track. It's manual, but it switches the feeder power from that track to that track by adjusting that. So I shall stick up a little diagram at the end of this so you can see what I'm talking about. Okay, I'll carry on with the rest. grab the controller. And that then drops down. Will it or won't it go? It goes down there, and it's going all the way to there. So the Intercity is parked where it needs to be parked. There we go. Very interesting. So I now need to get it up onto the layout, so let's see if it works. You can bet your bottom dollar it won't. Here goes. That's all I wanted it to do. And then we switch the signal over. Well, we switch the point over. That then goes green. Sorry, bash the camera. And then our Intercity is now come from our loading bay down here up to the top of the track, where she's doing a scheduled run through, and then she's going to go down through the points and not derail. Look at that. I just love it when a plan comes together. So there you go, that's the Intercity from the extension down here all the way up to the track. So I call that a result. Okay, so we've now finished. This is our finished project. Well, say finished, the build's finished. I've just got a lot more decorative bits to do now, so I need to start doing the bridge bit here that I want to build in. So I'm going to incorporate this underground bridge, as I mentioned, underground tunnel, sorry, and then I might do a fake station probably in here, or something. I might even have a train going through on and off. I have got some underground stuff that would look quite good and tie in with the railway, so that's something that I might do. More fun to play with. You can see the whole reason for me doing this, like Graham said, was to store the HST off the track, which I've now got it stored underneath there, and that's got 5 cars on, which is big enough for my layout. I can take 7, but it pretty much fills the length of the run, so it's not, doesn't look so good with 7. You just constantly see in front and end of the train. So that now stores underneath the layout, and that sort of sits now from under the station, and it goes all the way down to the back there. So that's where my HST is. It's stored underneath the layout in this section here, and then you can see all my other locos. So I've now got all them in there as well, and I put this perspex on purely to keep the dust off a little bit, so nothing gets dusty. The track keeps a bit cleaner. Don't forget, this track underneath here all isolates, so none of these locos are powered, everything's switched off. I've got my steamers, and I've got some fun display stuff that doesn't actually run, but I just want to keep out the way, so I can now display them, and then they go all the way in there. I've got a little hole there, and that's purely so I can get my hand in through here and change the points, so I can get into there, change the points. All these panels lift off one way or another. This one here, I'll show you what this one does. If I just come here, lift that up, and then that slides out, and then I can get straight to my trains. There you go, straight in. So there you go. So it's easy as that. I can get into there and I can get to everything. So I'm really pleased with this. I have got space here for another rail, so I'm planning to get some more points and do another line. Trouble is, once you build something like this, you then think, oh, I can add a bit more. I might add another point in this section, and that nice open space, I can use that for a storage or a siding, run a couple of diesels into it. So that's what we've got, and I'll put this section back up. It's absolutely been a godsend. I've been playing with it for a couple of days, taking trains on and off, and it just made my life so much easier. Now I've got it, it actually gives the layout a purpose as opposed to just a couple of loops. So it, you know, much as I can take stock on and off, I can actually bring stock down or change it whenever I want to. So I'm really happy the way it's all looking. Yeah, really happy. These are a couple of my other new trains that I've just recently bought to tie in with the theme of London and Old Oak. So you can see them as a 423 and a 411 CEP. So yep, got them. So yeah, everything's looking really good. Really happy the way things are going at the moment. I've got a lot more work to do. By sorting out underneath there, I've now sorted out this back panel, because obviously I had to chop a lot of this stuff underneath, change it, so I now could change this panel underneath here, put in the whole new wall at the back there, so that looks better. I've now got to paint that scene and do something, and then change that end bit, so that's the next bits that I've got to do. And obviously now I'm going to be doing some sort of work on here. I don't know what now, but I'm either going to just paint it grey or put some grass up on banks, and so I shall do that. As you can see down this side, I'm going to change this. I'm going to put a new engine shed in here, bit like the one that I originally built, so I'm going to do that. This was a scale scene, Scaledale, Hornby Scaledale signal box. Get it right, Gary. It was too big, so I had it in that corner, and what I've done is just got the Dremel drill and I cut it in half, and I've now stuck it sort of loosely to the back wall. I thought it looked quite cool having a signal box on that section there, so I've now cut the building in half, made it a low relief, just put some fake controls inside and a bit of plastic card. So that looks quite good, quite pleased with that. There you go, that's what I've done. Bit of plastic card and made it fake inside. So that's done. Might add a little light in there at one point. So yeah, that's good. Quite pleased with that. It just fits in there, look. That's that. We haven't really done anything else other than that. So I've got a few more things to do, which will feature in probably next month's update on this. So I just thought I would show you my extension that goes underneath the layout. It's all done. As you saw, the HST went running up there, and I will do some more shots of different trains going up, and then once I've done a few more details to it and changed a few more things, I'll do another update on it. But at the moment, this is as far as I've got, and I'm really happy with it, and it looks pretty awesome, and it's really practical. So this is what it's given me. You can see 2 layers now. I'm not going to paint it. I'm going to leave it that piney colour because it's separate from the layout, but it's practical enough to be useful as the layout extension. So there we go. Job well done, kid. Good cup of tea and a biscuit, I think, there. So all we've got to do now is switch the line back so it goes green. It's gone green. There we go. Everything's nice and safe. Guys can pack up their tools, and it's home. There you go. Job done.